Hey guys, and welcome to a showdown featuring myself once again in charge of the forces of Skaven up against a mysterious opponent who has no name and is leading the brave warriors of Bretonnia. And yes, this is the greatest Skaven build ever stolen. If you know anything about the Skaven, yeah, they make some pretty good wacky inventions, but all round their favourite thing is stealing and wheeling and dealing, and we're going to be using a build designed by Human Boy. Yes, at least the conceptual design of the build. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same as his, but I did try this out on one of my streams recently, and we're going to be bringing it back. So that's Human Boy. Yes, he does indeed have a YouTube channel as well. Make sure to go check that out. There's a lot of good Total War Warhammer live streams, as well as some like podcast style kind of interviews about certain factions. But as you can see, it is an absolute flusterclug of different rat units in a big old death blob, but they won't be this way for long. With a load of wolf rats, a bucket ton in fact, also mixed in with some poison. There's the majority in the main fight here, but we also have some hidden behind the enemy, 2 units on the left as well as 2 units on the back right. And for the rest of the force, it is Rat Ogre Central. We have 4 units, I believe, of Rat Ogres, one of which is the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep. They were there at Helm's Deep when it fell, and they are here now to try to bring ruin to the realms of men once more. Leading the battle line, we have a Pack Master on his glorious little roll mat mount here, coming into battle with the Scrying Stone as well as the Shock Collar. More importantly, he has running with the pack, increasing that hit points by 4 hit points per second to nearby clan molded monsters. And you know what? The Warlord on his mount is a clan molder monster, so he's going to be getting regeneration. He's very fast himself, coming with all the goodies today. Shield of Distraction is a very nice hex. We have Rally, World Edge Armor, and Verminous Valor. But this build does not work without one very key component, the Eshin Sorcerer, who is going to be coming in with Doom and Darkness. It's not Doom and Darkness, it's called like Shield of something. Let's have a little look. Where are you? There you are. Armor of Darkness, there we go. Kind of Armor of Darkness, Warp Stars, but more importantly, we have Skitterleap. When you overcast this, it becomes Air of Effect, increasing speed by 25% and giving Stalk and Unspottable. I'm sure you can see how this is going to go. We're actually going to pause it as it looks like something going down straight away, making basically my entire army souped up on Nitros and at the same time completely invisible. My opponent, on the other hand, is certainly preparing for a long-range Duke Fest. Comes in with triple field trebuchets, who are double silver chevron, looking to outtrain Warplock Jezzails and lightning cannons. We also have peasant mobs in the front line, backed up by a more stalwart line of battle pilgrims. Battle pilgrims really do have some quite cool models with their shields held in a reverse grip. I believe it's to honour the Grail Knights or something along those lines. I'm sure people who know a bit more about lore will be able to tell you down below in the comments. We have a load of peasant bowmen as well to rain fire from afar, and double Knights of the Realm to help protect the back line. And it's really a grind down the Skaven before they grind you down style of approach. We do, of course, have the traditional double Paladin here, one of which, looks like both of which actually are coming in with Guardian, here to support the Fey Enchantress. Fey Enchantress in a really cool pose there, actually, darting towards the front lines, coming in with Favour of the Fey, of course, Chalice of Potions, Arcane Conduit, Dwellers Below, and Earthblood. So it's going to be a tough affair, but perhaps we will be able to break this down. And as you can see, we do mount the hill here and pop that Skitterleap down, overcast, and look at the little wolf rats run. Their speed is a whopping 119. You think you're fast until you see the angry wolf rats charging downhill towards you. And wolf rats are ridiculously good at weaving through enemy units. We should be able to get on and start hunting down these field trebuchets if we're careful. And it looks like one of them already has started to be compromised, but the wolf rats do get distracted and start falling back once more, so we're going to have to pound down the enemy as quickly as possible. Rat Ogres do a fine job up against a lot of the infantry here, and we need to get the Packmaster and Warlord in, and it looks like we're just about to do that after those paladins to shut them down here. Trebuchets, unfortunately, are having to launch their shots into Skaven Slave Slingers because they simply couldn't see anything else. And the good thing about this build is it's a massive flustercluck to deal with your opponent. And when they're distracted, running around trying to deal with all your units, you charge in the back with Wolf Rats. We're now shutting down one field trebuchet as well as some of the peasant bowmen. And Wolf Rats really will chew through them rather quickly then. It looks like we've broken 2 units already as the second pack of Wolf Rats charge into the back here onto the peasant bowmen, simply gobbling them up. In the main fight, the paladins are getting their asses whooped by the Packmaster and Warlord combo. That Shock Collar coming down, and it is a really deadly combo. Think Frot the Unclean style, but a little bit cheaper and far more swaggy. One paladin has got Earthblood popped on him, but it did start to flee back there. My opponent's done a good job with the cavalry that he has, though, using these Knights of the Realm to beat back as many wolf rats as possible, but not before they've already got 61 kills, hunted down a load of peasants as well. And you can see we have even more wolf rats whipping up and around the flanks, waiting to try to devour any units who do start to run from the field of battle. Rat ogres surrounding this paladin and beating the living snot out of him. He cowers, in fact, behind his shield and runs for freedom. Fey Enchantress has been betrayed, but she's a slippery devil indeed, managing to pull away from the fight, and she is so tanky with her healing. It looks like we are going to get a fat spell as well. No, maybe not. Arcane Conduit popped instead. There was going to be a nasty Dwellers below, but it looks like we may just be able to break her before she can pop that, but she is somehow clinging on for dear life, and it looks like Knights of the Realm, who were chasing off one of my units, have popped back in. Favour the Fae has indeed been popped, and they will butcher the Rat Ogres rather effectively. We even get an Overcast Earthblood coming down, buffing them up, and it seems like it's going pretty well for us, but this is a very glass cannon build. It is all about momentum. If we lose that momentum, you lose the battle. Luckily, we have more wolf rats flooding in. I'm desperately trying to assassinate the Fae right now. The Knights of the Realm, despite that Favour of the Fae going down and the Earthblood, we've been able to do some big damage to them, and now comes down an Armour of Darkness, giving all of these units an extra 60 armour and 20% missile resistance on the Warlord. That is very impressive, 120 armour right now, and he is beating the snot out of the Bretonnian leadership. In the distance, Skaven Slave Slingers are simply pouring the fire on. The Eshin Sorcerer is getting into the action, and the majority of the cavalry has been forced back now. Wolf rats nipping at their heels, as well as the peasants who do try to return to save their lady. There's a relatively healthy unit of Battle Pilgrims, though, starting to saturate in on top of these Knights of the Realm, who are up to 74 kills now. So far, good cavalry play by my opponent, the Packmaster, as well as the Warlord. You can see that World Edge armor has been popped as well. And it looks like the forces of Bretonnia, the hearts of the people, has been broken, and the Skaven just steamroll their way through the Bretonnian force today. It was a rather swift battle, a really fun one as well. It was a bit one-sided because my build really did heavily counter what my opponent had brought, but I still wanted to share this battle with you guys because it's such a ridiculous tactic that actually can sometimes bring good profit. It has a huge amount of counters as well, but you know, it's the dice game we like to roll sometimes when you go for those more wacky, outlandish builds, and it was certainly some good fun. Well played to Blank, though. He, you know, I think his build is not actually too terrible against maybe more of a traditional Skaven approach to this matchup, but we went real wild with this one. Massive shout out to Human Boy Yes for the inspirational build, and once again, here's a YouTuber. Make sure you go do check him out. He does live streams and content pretty regularly, actually, and yeah, we may do something hopefully together in the future at some point. But yes, on to the damage dealt and damage value. Actually, just before we get there, we will get there in a few mementos. But before then, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe as well for more content. It's really cool to see the amount of support we've received recently. And I'm definitely going to be doing another giveaway when we get to 7,500 subscribers, which hopefully won't be terribly long away. And yeah, it's going to be really cool to share that kind of stuff with you guys. Comment down below as well what you thought of the battle, what you think of this absolutely wacky Skitterleap build. It is really good fun to use. I will say that if you're going to use this on quick battles, you're going to have some wonderful success and some horrendous losses. It is kind of the nature of the beast when it comes to these kind of gimmicky builds like this. Yeah, comment down below what you thought of it. Comment down below what factions you'd like to see more of on the channel. I know I've been focusing a lot on the new DLC stuff, but you know, it's new, it's flashy. And yeah, comment, feel free to quack as well down below in support. There are links down below as well in the description to my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel, as well as links to my Discord where you can submit replays to me, get involved in the tournaments, events, live streams, and it's a cool place to hang out. But anyway, Warlord. Master. I think like my video yesterday was actually on the Warlord as well, and how I think he is very underrated. 1,423 damage value, 10 kills, and been an absolute raid boss up against those paladins and the Fey Enchantress, of course. He only works like this when supported by his loyal Packmaster. 828 damage value on him. Certainly not too shabby, particularly because he had plenty left to give, and he was regenerating the Warlord up the entire time. Eshin Sorcerer is crucial to this build. I really do love Eshin Sorcerers. I think they're fantastic. I know the kind of summon spam culture Skaven have forced themselves into, but Ashen Sorcerer, give him a go. He's a quite a good laugh all round. Skaven Slave Singers were just here to be a pain in the butt, and they did that job perfectly. As for the Wolf Rats, it's going to be a mixed bag here, but look at some of these kills. 63, 129, 98. Some glorious work there. Damage value, though, was 816, 1,041, 292, 454, 767, 411, 0, and 322. So the damage value, of course, really spread out across the board for the most part of them. Some getting their little fangs into the back line, others getting simply run over. But again, you know, as long as a few of them get through, that's all you need. As for the Rat Ogres, quite pivotal here as well, coming in with the Fat 4 units. We got 13, 68, 49, and 134 kills on the Regiment Renown, performing slightly better than their lesser brethren here. 1,118 damage value, 636, 702, and 1,169 with 13k damage dealt, really helping to pound down those knights and characters in the late game, as well as clear out the chaff, because the Wolf Rats, they'll do fine up against peasants, but the Battle Pilgrims could probably give it to them a little bit. Faye Enchantress, though she was attacked predominantly from the off, almost instantly we hopped on top of her. She is so slippery. 1,773 damage value, over 12k damage dealt, only a meager 18 kills. Her Paladin bodyguards fared much worse, often being forced off, abandoning her, only to come back groveling a little bit later. Just shy of 300 damage value, and just over 400 on the second Paladin. Not the best bodyguards to date. Peasant mobs across the board, of course, are kind of here to die. Battle Pilgrims, you'd expect them to do okay here. One unit got 20 kills and 588 damage value, but the rest really did suffer. Likewise, the Peasant Archers just got destroyed from the off. Rat Ogres forced their way into the back line. Likewise, the Wolf Rats. One unit which performed really well, though, for my opponent, and still had a little bit left to give at the end, but armor losses had kind of set in by that point, was his Knights. He did some good hunting with the Knights of the Realm today. 69 and 75 kills with a whopping 1,031 damage value and 1,045, and look how healthy they are. One unit basically full health when they decided to flee. Field Trebuchets across the board were a miscalculated investment here today. Again, I don't hate this pick. They're actually okay up against weapon teams, particularly when at double silver chevrons, looking to try to drag me through the man-tide of a 20 stack, but we weren't having any of that. This was the true Vermintide way of playing the Skaven, and it was certainly some good fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ridiculous battle. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.